Alright, let's see what kind of goodies he has. Nope, nothing good. Contents of a scav. I can sell that shit. Well, that's not good. Alright. So I've got 2 above me and 1 below me. Alright, there's 1. There's 2. Three. And 4. That was active. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Snoopy So Chill here, and I'm trying something a little bit different. In the past, I have made Is It Worth It videos, and they've been very sort of chopped up and highly edited. And for this one, I'm trying something in the form of kind of like a talking head video, more or less, where you don't really need to pay attention to the edits. You can kind of just listen to what I have to say, so you can keep the video playing in the background and do other stuff if that's something that you prefer. At the end of the video, if this is a styling that you have enjoyed and wouldn't mind seeing more of, feel free to leave a comment letting me know anything that you liked or disliked. And if you prefer the other style, like in my Terraria video or Path of Exile video, let me know. Let me know what works, what doesn't. So that way I know moving forward kind of what I can focus on. Today, we're going to be talking about Escape from Tarkov. That is an extraction shooter that lends itself to realism quite heavily and has a really high learning curve and a pretty, I don't want to say a super high difficulty, but the learning curve does make it a bit of a challenge to play. It's a really fun game that I've been enjoying playing. I started playing back over the summer around July, and I took a little bit of a break shortly after the most recent wipe and have just recently gotten back into it. So in this video, a few of the things that I'm going to be talking about are some of the basics of the game, mechanics, goals in the game, different features. I'm going to give some opinions on the gameplay and what a new player might be able to expect. I'm also going to give some recommendations, of course, whether or not the game is worth playing, and maybe some helpful tips for beginners like myself that I've found to be really, really helpful in learning the game and enjoying it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Now that I think about it, maybe I am on the northern part of the map. Can I go around the minefield? Nope. I didn't run into the signs. Wow, what a waste. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is an extraction shooter, and so what that means is you essentially load into a raid, and your main goal of that raid is to survive and reach one of a number of extraction points. Rinse and repeat, that's the core mechanic of the game. You also have different quests for different vendors that you can complete throughout the raids, and as you progress these quests, they'll allow you to buy better gear, buy better weapons. You'll be able to essentially have a better chance of surviving raids as the game goes on. So you really kind of want to focus on these quests because they really do give you the ability to get some pretty good stuff. In addition to the vendor quests, you'll also have the ability to increase and level up different things in your hideout. Now, your hideout is where you can kind of go and relax in between raids, and as you unlock different things, they'll give you certain benefits that you can take advantage of in between raids, such as faster healing. One of the really cool features is a firing range, so you can kind of pop in, test out a gun, kind of get a feel for how it handles, how it'll react in a raid, and kind of decide what you want to take with you as you load into more and more raids. The game is split between PvP and PvE. There's also Escape from Tarkov Arena, which I don't know a whole lot about, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it. To my knowledge, that's kind of more of a faster paced, not really a Call of Duty style, but kind of along those lines where, you know, you're not doing long raids. It's more of a faster PvP style of content. I typically have been playing on PvE as of late, and that is mainly due to, one, a skill issue. I'm not the best when it comes to tactical shooters as much as I enjoy them, and two, the PvE version of the game allows me to really go at my own pace in terms of questing, leveling different skills, unlocking things for my hideout and whatnot, without having to feel the pressure of going up against someone who A, has a lot more time on their hands to be good at the game, and B, the kind of not so pretty side of the PvP world. You know, with any game that has content like this, there's going to be people that will take advantage of things and cheat and, you know, try and do anything and everything to get an advantage over you. And that's just something that wasn't really fun for me. I'm married, I've got 3 kids, I don't have a whole lot of time to spend playing video games anymore like I did in my youth, and so the PvE version of the game really allowed me to fall in love with the mechanics of the game, the gameplay, the pace, without feeling overwhelmed. And so for me, the PvE version of the game is right up my alley. But it's entirely up to you on what your preference is. In my opinion, there's no right or wrong way to play the game. If you spend money on it, you can play it however you want, and you don't need to let anybody tell you anything different. Something that new players can expect, as I mentioned before, is a pretty high learning curve. This is a game that is it's easy to learn, but it's very difficult to master. So the more that you play the game, like with anything, things will sort of become muscle memory. One of the things that really stuck out to me was the need to heal and the need to eat and drink. This is kind of where the realism kind of lends in. If you were to get injured during a raid, somebody shoots your arm, your leg, whatever, you'll have different levels of bleeding that can occur, light or heavy. If you fall from a high enough height, you can potentially break a limb. And these injuries do not go away. There is no healing over time like you would find in Call of Duty or Battlefield. It's up to you to either heal or not heal the wounds. And there's different medical items that can do that, from painkillers that can, if you've got a broken limb, can allow you to run on that broken limb for a short period of time, you know, all the way up to full-on heavy med kits that can repair broken limbs, cure heavy bleeding a number of times, replenish your hit points and whatnot. And then there's also the need to eat and drink. Throughout the raid, you will notice that you have a hunger and a hydration meter that will deplete slowly over time. There's different food items that you can find in raids that can help replenish your energy, as well as different liquid items that can replenish your hydration. Just like in real life though, some of these items will have adverse effects for the other. If you eat something that's really, really salty, say like a can of sardines or something like that, you'll get energy from it, but it can also lower your hydration. On the flip side, if you consume something that's a super caffeinated energy drink, you'll get some hydration from it, not a whole lot. You'll also get a buff from the caffeine, but it'll also hinder your how do I word this? It'll improve your energy, but lower your hydration after a time when the effect wears off. And these are just a few examples of some of the things that you can encounter when it comes to medical items, hydration, energy, so on and so forth. So it really makes you need to think tactically on what you're going to do in a raid and how you're going to get out of certain situations that you might find yourself in. Overall, I would say the gameplay is a very steady, albeit slow pace. Especially coming from the worlds of Call of Duty and Battlefield style games that are very fast paced, especially in today's day and age. This game is not like that. You really need to take your time and think methodically before you just go running out and potentially get yourself killed if you're not careful. Overall, I would 100% say that this game is worth playing. It's a game that I have had a lot of fun with, and if it's something that you've been thinking about trying, the base game is $50, so it is a little on the steep side, but the gameplay is very rewarding. When you learn something new and kind of get the hang of it, it encourages you, or at least it encourages me, to want to play more. If you're a new player and you've never played Escape from Tarkov, you're thinking about playing Escape from Tarkov, or you've just gotten into it, haven't really done a few raids, or kind of looking for, some helpful advice from one new player to another, one of the biggest things that I can recommend to you as a new player is to play with a map. And what I mean by that is any map that you load into, you do not have an in-game map. You have no way of knowing where you are, nor do you have any way of knowing where your extraction points are, other than a list that tells you what the extraction points are, and that's it. That's all you really have to go off of. So unless you stumble into it and happen to find it, you're really not going to know. So I would encourage you to play with a map. Escape from Tarkov's wiki has maps of all of the maps in the game. They have 3D maps, 2D maps, interactive maps that will show you kind of everything that you can find in each map, from extractions as a scav in PMC, joint extractions, where bosses spawn, where scavs can spawn, where PMCs can spawn, and those are extremely helpful to a new player to be able to learn the map and get a feel for where everything is. And it's going to take time. I cannot stress that enough, that it is going to take time to get used to the game and to get used to how things progress in the game. But I promise you, it is worth it. It is a lot of fun, and it's one that I can't recommend to people enough. If you're into extraction shooters, or really shooters in general, I think it's a game that anybody can have a good time playing. Another tip that I would recommend is to watch somebody who has been playing the game for longer than you. There are a vast number of content creators in the Tarkov space, on TikTok, on Twitch, on YouTube, that you can essentially just take your pick, find their content, and a lot of them will have their own helpful tips and tricks. They will have videos showcasing the different maps, showcasing raids, how to take down bosses, so on and so forth. And as a new player, that information is vital. I cannot stress it enough. So, if you're thinking about Escape from Tarkov, if you've never played it and you plan on it, enjoy your jump into the game, because it's a lot of fun and it's a very rewarding experience. If you enjoyed this video, do give a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you thought, let me know what worked, what didn't work, and if you are a seasoned Tarkov player, feel free to leave a comment below with a helpful tip for another new player to come across to help improve their game. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you at the next video.